So in this question we are given the x component and the y components of the vectors, and we are required to find the magnitude and the direction of the vectors. In this part A, the x component is minus 2.3 centimeters and the y component is 4.1 centimeter. The magnitude is given by this simple formula: x component squared plus y component squared under the root. Substituting these values and calculating it, we get 4.7 centimeters. Now before finding the direction of this vector, we should first plot these two components given to us. The x component is minus 2.3 centimeters and the y component is 4.1 centimeters. Here, as the y component is positive, we should go upward, and as the x component is negative, we should go in the negative x direction or towards the left side. Now, as we know that the direction is given by the tangent theta, tangent theta is equal to the vertical component divided by the horizontal component, the perpendicular divided by the base, the vertical divided by the horizontal, and rearranging this thing for theta, it becomes tangent inverse perpendicular by base, or 4.1 divided by 2.3. Here look at this triangle. The base is this, the perpendicular is this. The angle we are going to find will be this angle, because the angle we find is always opposite to the perpendicular, and we are taking this side as perpendicular and this side as a base. So the angle must be this one. This is the point you need to understand very well. So the theta is given by tangent inverse 4.1 divided by 2.3. Calculating this thing, we get theta is equal to 60 degrees. So where is this angle 60 degree? It is here with the negative x-axis. But as we know, we always show the direction of the vector with respect to the positive x-axis. This is the convention used worldwide. So we must find the angle of this vector 4.7 centimeter with respect to the positive x-axis. The angle it makes with this negative x-axis is 60 degrees. Subtracting this 60 degree from 180 degrees that is made by the straight line, we get the angle of 120 degrees. So the final answer will be the vector of 4.7 centimeters make an angle of 120 degrees with the positive x-axis. You should always plot the components of the vector before using this formula for finding the direction of the resultant vector. If you use this formula without plotting the components, you might consider the angle found between the resultant vector and the positive x-axis, but that is not always the case. Sometimes we are given negative components. Due to that negativity, the resultant vector could move to any of the four quadrants, causing the angle to move from between the positive x-axis and the resultant vector to the negative x-axis and the resultant vector. As in this particular case, the y component is positive and the x component is negative. That brings the resultant vector to the second quadrant, and the angle between the negative x-axis and the vector. So I always recommend you to first plot the components of the vector before finding the direction or the angle of the resultant vector using this formula to avoid any confusion.